Hi guys, it's Miss Simon. So I wanted to make this video today to help you guys out with your writing. So yesterday you guys did your introduction to your persuasive piece on kids should have longer recesses. And make sure today at some point you go and check those because I am going to be sending them back to you with comments on things that maybe you should change or things that you did well on. So make sure you're checking those comments when I return your guys' assignments. So today you guys are going to start doing your body paragraphs. So today you're going to do body paragraph 1. So we're going to start by, we're going to go through what we need and what the purpose of our body paragraphs are in a persuasive essay. Again, we've been talking about the purpose of persuasive essays is to convince the reader. So your 3 body paragraphs are gonna, each body paragraph is gonna have a main reason and then details that support that. So if you don't have them out already, make sure you have your notes that you're taking on persuasive essays out, because we're gonna add body paragraph notes to that today. And remember, what's nice is if we do the first body paragraph correctly, then we know how to do the second and the third as well. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and we're going to go through the notes. So what you need to have a successful body paragraph, and then like always, I'll model mine before you guys independently write yours. So let me share those notes with you. Okay. So yesterday we reviewed what you need in your introduction. So I hope you wrote those down yesterday. Now you're going to add body paragraphs to those notes. And again, these are Roman numerals. We had 1 yesterday, part 2 is going to be body paragraphs. Okay. So body paragraphs, the purpose of the 3 body paragraphs is to give the reader your 3 reasons with details in order to convince them of your arguments. Okay. So we know that we have 3 body paragraphs, and each body paragraph is going to focus on one main reason. And remember, your main reason you guys already came up with when you did your graphic organizer. So go ahead and write that first part down, and then we'll go through what specifically that is going to look like sentence by sentence. Okay, so the first sentence of your body paragraph needs to be your transition sentence, okay? Like we've talked about, all of your body paragraphs need to start with a transition word, okay? So in your transition sentence, each body paragraph should start with a transition word and clearly tell the reader your reason, okay? So since this is your first body paragraph, you should probably start with a transition word such as to begin with, to start with, okay? First, all right, but we should probably be using ones other than first since we are in 5th grade, okay? So we first need to start with a transition word and then clearly tell our reason, okay? So for example, my first reason was to ability to focus. It increases the ability to focus. So I would say to start with, kids need longer recess times because it increases their ability to focus. Okay, that is a good first transition sentence for me. All right, and then sentences 2, 3, 4, and even 5 are going to be detail sentences. Okay, so you're going to have 3 to 4 well-written detail sentences. And each body paragraph should have 3 to 4 sentences of details that support your reasons. So those are all those triangle details that you guys came up with. You had your main reason, and then you had about 3 things that came off of those that were triangles where you put details in there. Now you're just going to take those details and put them into well-written sentences to create your detail sentences. Remember, all of those details need to somehow connect with that main reason. So for me, my first body paragraphs is about it helps students focus better. So all 3 or 4 of my detailed sentences need to explain how more recess allows students to focus better. And then finally, after your detailed sentences, you have a closing sentence. This sentence wraps up your paragraph and tells the reader you're moving on to your next reason, okay? So it tells the reader that you're done talking about your first body paragraph reason you're moving on, okay? And you do that in a way without saying, I'm done with this reason and now I'm moving on, okay? We do that by saying something like, this allows students to focus better in the classroom, or these were some reasons why students are able to focus better in the classroom with longer recess, or something like that. We're not going to say, we're done with this paragraph, okay? We don't do that. Okay, so now that we've kind of gone through those steps and you guys have written them down, okay? Let me go back to the main screen, okay? All right, so just like you guys have been doing, I instructed you yesterday to make sure you wrote down your introduction on a piece of paper before you started typing it, okay? This was because I know that when we start using a computer, we forget important things like capitalization, punctuation, and sentence structure. So I told you to make sure you were writing it down first before you typed it in to send in to me, okay? So that's going to be the same throughout this whole entire essay. So just like yesterday, you wrote your introduction and then typed it, you guys today, you're going to write your first body paragraph just like I did and then type it in for me, okay? So I took some time already and wrote this down, okay? All of your details you should have already done in that planning step. So all you're doing is taking those details and putting them together into a paragraph, okay? Remember, the packet that you're using for this essay looks like this. Oops, sorry. Not what I wanted. Hold on. So the packet of information that you're using for the essay, remember, looks like this, okay? So you should have done your introduction on this page when you were writing it yesterday. Now just continue your first body paragraph right on this page as well. It's just like we're in class and we're using notebook paper, okay? Then after you write it down on here, then that's where you're gonna type it in that Google Doc and turn it into me, okay? All right. So now after you've written it down, okay, after you've taken some time and put those together in a well-written paragraph, okay, you are going to type it, okay? And I'm going to show you because I want you to continue on with the same essay. I want your essay to be in the same doc, okay? So you're gonna use the same doc for all 5 paragraphs. So I'm gonna tell you how you're going to do that and attach it to the Google Doc assignment, okay? So I'm going to show you, I'm going to pretend that I'm a student in the class, okay? And I'm going to show you how you guys are going to be able to attach that doc every time, okay? Some of you might know this already, but I'm sure a lot of you don't, so make sure you're paying attention. All right, so let me share your screen with you. Share the screen with you so you guys can see here. All right, so a lot of you, this is what you see, okay? When you are, hold on. When you go to your writing 5th grade page, this is what you see, okay? You have the stream, classwork, and you have people, okay? So as you guys know, to get all your assignments, you're gonna click on classwork, okay? So this is gonna be the assignment for today, persuasive essay, body paragraph 1. So I'm gonna click on that, okay? View assignment, okay? As it does every time, it gives you instructions step by step, okay? But if you notice today, there is no Google Doc already attached here, okay? Because you're going to have to attach your Google Doc that has your introduction in it because I want you to continue to write that whole paper in one Google Doc. So to do that, okay, you are going to click on this add or create here at the top, okay? So you click on that, okay? Then it's already in, your introduction should already be in your Google Drive because you already started working on it. So you're gonna click Google Drive, okay? Now you should find it here, but if you don't, whatever you kind of named it, you can kind of persuasive, essay, and it should kind of pop up there, okay? It's loading, sorry. Still loading. Okay, So see, now that it's loaded, guys, you have ability to click on it here. So now you can click on it. And it pulls up your introduction that you already did here. So now you can just continue to write your body paragraph, okay? That's what you guys are gonna do for every time you're attaching it. And Google Docs will automatically save it for you. So that's what's nice, okay? Because I don't want 5 different docs with 5 different paragraphs because that's hard to follow. I want it all on one paragraph, right? So now I'm gonna take what I just wrote and I'm going to type it, okay? But we're gonna go step by step, okay? So the first thing, I make sure I go back to my notes and look what I need. Well, the first thing I need is that transition sentence, okay? So that transition sentence needs to start with a transition word. So like I said, I'm gonna use to begin with. So make sure you indent to begin with. Okay, now I need to look and see what my first reason was because I don't remember. So I'm just gonna go back to that organizer that I did already. And I should see, hey, well, my first reason is students can focus better. So go back to my essay to begin with. Allowing students more recess time will increase students' ability to focus in the classroom. Okay, so there's my transition sentence. I've started with, and look, it tells me anything I need to fix, it automatically highlights for me. So I just right click that, tells me how to fix it. Okay, so my transition sentence, it started with a transition word here to begin with, and then I've clearly stated what this body paragraph is going to be about. To begin with, allowing students more recess time will increase students' ability to focus in the classroom. Moving on to my detailed sentences. Well, again, I've already done the work in figuring out what my detailed sentences are. Now I just need to put these ideas into well-written sentences. So my first one, students will be ready to focus on instruction when they return to class. So I'm going to put that in a well-written sentence. So I'm going to say, giving students extra time outside will allow them to clear their minds and come back into the classroom ready to learn. Okay, so there's my first detail in a well-written sentence, okay? All right, now I need to go back and see, well, what's my second detail? With a clear mind, students will perform better in classwork and not need to move. Okay, so I'm gonna figure out how to put that in a well-written sentence. With a clear mind, students will be willing to work harder on assignments. With a clear mind, students will be willing to work harder on assignments instead of having to get up and move around. They will be able to sit at their desks and listen to instruction. Okay, so there's my detail about students being able to sit and listen and not have to get up and move around. Look, I made an error. All I do is right click and it fixes it for me. Okay, Now let's go see what my last detailed sentence is. Research shows that longer recess times leads to increased test scores. Okay, so it's always great to kind of throw a fact in there. Okay, just like we kind of did in the opening introduction. Okay, as long as it's a pretty convincing fact, nobody is going to take the time to actually look it up. So the better convincing it is, the more convincing your argument ends up being. So I'm gonna kind of throw a fact in there, okay? It's gonna be made up, but it needs to still sound convincing. So mine's going to be a study in Illinois showed that students who have an extra 20 minutes of recess a day are able to focus for an additional hour in the classroom, which leads to an increase in test scores. Okay. So there's my third detailed sentence there. I said that a study in Illinois with students who have an extra 20 minutes of recess a day leads to increased test scores. Do I know that for a fact? No, but it sounds convincing and nobody's going to take time to look that up, so I'll throw that in there, okay? So I have my transition sentence. I have my detailed sentence. Now the last and final thing that I need to include is a closing sentence. So this pretty much wraps up my paragraph telling my reader I'm moving on to my next reason. So, more recess time leads to a better working classroom and a more focused student. Period. Okay. So now I have all the elements. I'll reread it just to make sure I have everything. So to begin with, allowing students more recess time will increase students' ability to focus in the classroom. Giving students extra time outside will allow them to clear their mind and come back into the classroom ready to learn. With clear mind, students will be willing to work harder on assignments. Instead of having to get up and move around, they will be able to sit at their desk and listen to instruction. A study in Illinois showed that students who have an extra 20 minutes of recess a day are able to focus for an additional hour in the classroom, which leads to an increase in test scores. More recess time leads to a better working classroom and a more focused student. Okay, so I have my transition sentence, I have my 3 to 4 detail sentences, and I have my closing sentence. Okay, so I have everything I need. Okay, and now what's nice, guys, is Google Docs automatically saves it for you. Okay, so there really is no need to share it with me. I know many of you have been sharing it, which is fine, but you don't really need to share it with me. All you need to do is you can just exit out of the Google Doc after you checked it over and reread it, okay? And you can go back to this here, okay? And it's already updated it for you, okay? So now, again, if you want to check that because you might not see it, you can click on it again. And when it loads, you can see that it did save everything here. Okay, so don't be worried about that. All right, so you can exit out of that again. Okay, and now that it's already attached here, all you have to do is just hit turn in. Okay, and it'll tell you that here, and you can hit turn in. All right, and that's how, let me stop sharing with you guys. Okay, so that makes that process a little easier so you can keep your whole essay together. If you guys do have issues with that tomorrow, please feel free to email me and I'll get back to you and see if I can help you with that. What I don't want is it to just be all over the place. I just want it kind of all in one spot because it makes it easier for you and it makes it easier for me for when I'm giving feedback on your essays. So hope this video was helpful and have a good day. Bye.